Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Setting with Christian. I know you were all expecting a Juliet live today with our ring sets. However, Juliet is unavailable today, so we've got a special edition of a Cullen Jewelry live on Instagram. Today we have a Rachel bezel with a radiant. This radiant is just under 5 carats. It's an EVVS1, so it's a really nice and big stone. This is going to be really fun. All the questions that you guys have today, feel free to chuck them in the comments. We will reply to comments typed, and they'll be able to be seen there as well. But I'll mute and unmute the microphone so that you guys can hear the answers as well. And when I'm not talking, because it can get pretty loud while we're working, we're going to have the Save the Date podcast playing, which Juliet has plenty of episodes on all your platforms that you get your podcasts on, so you can have a listen to that as well. So we will get started now.
You're listening to the Save the Date podcast, where we talk all things weddings, jewellery and romance. With love from Cullen Jewelry.
Hello and welcome back to the Save the Date podcast. I'm Sheridan.
And I'm Juliet, and we are so happy you're here.
Today we are actually sharing your stories. So we asked you guys on both the Cullen Jewelry community and also Save the Date community what your proposal stories are, and here are just a few of them.
If you did share your stories, we just want to say a huge thank you for everyone who shared them. We loved getting to learn more about you and hearing these stories. Well, actually, technically, Sheridan has read these stories. I have not. I wanted to keep my reactions a surprise.
Yes.
So you get my authentic reactions.
Yeah. So I've read all of them. Obviously, we actually got like a lot, so we aren't able to share every single one of them, but this is something that we might start doing kind of semi-regularly, even like at the end of some of our episodes. Sharing your story. So we'll have the link in the show notes as well. So if you guys want to share your story after listening to this, definitely head to that link and you might be featured on our next episode.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
And also let us know if you'd like your name to be mentioned, because I think today these are all anonymous.
Yep.
But we're happy to share your name.
Yes, there is an option on there to put your name, but you don't have to. And yeah, if you would like us to actually shout you out, then make sure you mention it. Also, just a quick side note, if my voice sounds funny, I am very sorry. I have lost my voice a little bit, and this is as good as it's going to get at the moment. So
we'll manage.
We'll manage, yeah.
So sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it.
Okay, we were on a friend's holiday in Bali, and he managed to sneak the ring there without me knowing. We had plans to go on a boat to an island to snorkel and see beautiful views where he wanted to propose. The next morning, he woke up with Bali belly and was sick all day. So we pushed the trip to the following day. He held his sickness in to make it perfect for me.
Oh,
so sweet. However, Juliet's just seen the next one. However, I got the worst seasickness I have ever had on the way to the island. While snorkeling from a small rocky boat, I ended up throwing up off the side.
Oh no.
We were stuck all day on a crowded, hot island with tourists everywhere. I tried walking around but felt so unwell and couldn't rest. On the boat ride back, I was still throwing up, telling everyone it was the worst day of my life. Meanwhile, my fiance had this massive ring box in his pocket the entire day, even on the small rocky boat. Poor thing. Luckily, he decided not to propose that day. I really feel for this person too.
Literally.
I was not on a boat, but I was in Europe on a bus, traveling like from one location to the next. Like it wasn't a long bus. Actually, it was probably like 45 minutes, and it had been a really hot day, and the bus was like so muggy, and I'm like standing on the bus because it's packed, holding on to my partner, just like I feel like I think at one point I like was almost sitting on the ground with like my hand in my hands, just like please don't throw up or like faint on this bus.
Literally,
with all
and
these
like
people.
I have never had bad seasickness, but I definitely have had it mild, and it is the worst. It just the whole situation is bad because there is nothing you can do. All you want to do is get off the boat and you can't.
Yeah.
And once it starts, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So, I feel for you as well.
Yeah. And like
Okay.
both of them to have like,
I know.
so sad. Okay. Let's keep going. I saw the doctor that night and rested the entire next day feeling much better. Because I stayed at the hotel, did a face mask, washed my hair, and indulged in some self-care. That night, I felt refreshed and pretty for dinner. My fiancé had no specific plans for the proposal and was starting to freak out as we only had 3 days left on the trip. He almost decided to propose when we got back. That would be like so sad for him to like have planned this whole sort of
Literally.
thing out. We had no particular plans for dinner, but our group ended up at a nice beach restaurant in Kuta, overlooking the water. They had an acoustic band singing Ed Sheeran songs and a Balinese New Year show with costumes and dragons. I was having the best time and really enjoying it. That's when my fiancé decided to propose. He told the others in the group and started sweating nervously. I asked, why are you sweating so much in front of everyone, but didn't think much of it due to the Bali heat. Other couples in the group wanted photos in front of the beach, so we all got a couple pics. We were last, and as we were getting photos, I saw him starting to drop down. I turned my head and saw him on one knee, holding the ring, asking me to marry him. It was the most perfect night. I'm so glad it happened when it was supposed to and felt so natural. But I always laugh knowing he had planned to propose the day before when I was sick and constantly complaining about having the worst day. Poor guy.
I love that story. That is the best story ever.
Yeah.
The fact that it ended so perfectly.
Yeah.
But then there's that funny element
Yeah.
from the day before. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
I'm going to be a sucker for these because I'm
know.
I'm so like, I just cry at anything.
I know, literally.
So as
That's
soon as
so
I hear
sweet.
something that
Okay, cool. So I'll just explain to you guys what I've just done. What I'm doing now is I'm cutting out a little, like a seat. So it's just a little bearing that the diamond's going to sit into. So we want to make sure it's got something to squeeze that edge of the stone, just so that's how it's held in together. So once we hammer the metal over the top, that is that holds the metal, the diamond in, but it needs somewhere to sit, or else it will just fall through if we haven't done that properly as well. So this takes a little bit of trial and error and a few times back and forth, because we want to make sure that we've given ourselves, and I've given myself enough room to put it in, and that it's not going to pop out while I'm trying to hammer it down, or once the client gets it as well. So you'll see me take the stone in and out a few times, but that's just me really trying to make sure I'm happy with that bearing, because once we start to hammer the metal over the stone, there is no going back. It is really difficult to try and undo that and do it again. So I'm just going to keep going with this, and I'll let you know when we move on to the next step.
like sweet. I'm like
Oh, I love that. Thanks for
Yeah.
sending that in. I
Yeah,
love that
thank
story.
you.
That's so sweet. Okay, next one.
yeah.
My boyfriend and I had traveled to Japan to go snowboarding. Oh gosh, another travel story. On day one, I broke my left arm. Oh my gosh. We didn't know it was broken until after we
Oh
flew
my
back to
goodness.
Australia.
Can you imagine? I've never broken a bone, but I
Yeah.
cannot imagine.
Were you not in excruciating pain? Oh my gosh. So on day 3, he had told me he had booked this hot springs later that night to help relax after 3 days of snowboarding. So we walk to this beautiful chalet and go into this private hot springs. He says, "Oh, I think there's something set up in this next room. Give me a second." So I start putting my hair up in the rattiest bun to keep it out of the water. And then he calls me to come in. I open the door and there he is on one knee. I immediately black out and don't hear a word he says. I say yes, and he puts the most stunning ring on my finger from Cullen, of course.
Aw.
Slay. Turns out he knew I'd blank and forget what he said, so he had filmed it.
Aw.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I had to take the ring off and hop into the pool. Plus, my arm was so swollen, I couldn't actually turn my hand to be able to see the ring on my finger. Oh my gosh. But it was very special and very us. I love him so much and I can't wait to be his wife. Oh my
Aw.
goodness. That's a very sweet story.
Yes.
Very sweet ending. But
The broken arm.
Were you like, oh my God. Like,
That's like
what?
intense.
I hope you're okay now.
Yeah. I hope you can like turn your arm now to look at the ring.
Oh my goodness.
Just feel so bad.
I know, poor thing.
Oh dear. Okay, next one. My fiance and I just got engaged over the weekend. We have been together for almost 11 years. Whoa. I did these a few days ago, like last week, so I don't remember all the details. Surprising myself. He had planned a surprise weekend for me months in advance, but wouldn't give me any clues, as I'm notorious for accidentally ruining surprises on him. My gosh. He planned a surprise weekend months in advance. What a guy.
I know.
If he wanted
Go
to, he
you.
would.
If you wanted to, you would.
We went for a nice scenic drive through the mountains, and he had made a road trip playlist for the journey. Oh, I remember this part. The playlist was made up of some of our favorite songs, and the first letter of every song spelled out "Marry Me, Tara."
Oh, that's so sweet.
So cute.
I mean, I wouldn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either, but it's like one of those things that is like you wouldn't pick it up on it at the time, but after.
So we just got the question in the comments, which is awesome, which is asking us, can you get any ring adjusted to your liking, or can you go into any of your stores where you can design a ring from scratch? We definitely do offer custom design work. So if you have an idea in mind that is different, or it's similar, or you want to take different pieces or design elements from our existing designs and put together your own, we definitely can help you. Feel free to get in touch to make an appointment in any of our showrooms, or you can also have a virtual appointment if there is no showroom near you, and we are more than happy to work with you to try and design something that's really special and unique to you. While I'm here, so what we've done now is I've just clicked the diamond in. I'm having a look. It's just got a nice bit of wiggle room, which is good. That means it's nice and clicked into that seat. So what I'm going to do now is I'll start to hammer. I'm going to start to hammer the metal in, and what that will do is give us a nice squeeze over here to hold that diamond in place. But that's going to get pretty loud, so I will turn the mic off for you now.
To Glendalough Lake in Ireland for a walk and had picked a trail that takes you up to a waterfall. We then made our way to the viewing points over the lake. Lucky for us, the highest point was free with no one around. We made our way up and were taking in the fab view and taking some pictures. Eventually I said how lovely everything was, and he said, yeah, it's a nice way to mark the occasion. I obviously was so confused and asked what? And he gave me a look with a big grin on his face and said, don't tell me you've forgotten. Me, being even more confused, panicked that I had actually forgotten something, even though I knew I hadn't, said, wait, what? And then he took my hands, got down on one knee and asked me to marry him. Oh, I got the biggest shock of my life and kept saying, oh my God, and my hands flew up to my face. I immediately started bawling because I was so shocked and happy and feeling all the emotions. I, of course, said yes and couldn't stop hugging and kissing him. He then said in my ear as we were hugging that he got really nervous right beforehand, so didn't get to say all the things he wanted, so said them all into my ear as we hugged, which made me cry more. Oh, that's so sweet. He told me that right before he was about to propose that I grabbed his hand and apparently I started rubbing the velvet ring box. So he thought I knew what was about to happen. I have no recollection of this whatsoever, but I know I had no idea what was about to happen.
Oh,
Everything was perfect and I loved that it was just us even though we were in public. It was all private and we got to be in our own bubble. He then whisked me away to an amazing hotel, one I've been dying to stay in for the last 3 years. We had an amazing night in our little engagement bubble. The next day, we went to our hometown and celebrated with our families.
oh, that is so sweet.
That is,
when you were saying that she was like jumping up and grabbing him, like all that, I thought she was going to say the ring just like dropped or something. I was like, oh my gosh. No, that is the sweetest thing ever.
oh my God, can you imagine? Like dropped over the like waterfall.
That's where it was going. I was pleased no.
Oh my goodness. Those
That's why you
videos.
get ring insurance. The
Yeah.
moment the ring leaves our showroom, make sure you have insurance.
Yeah, so
because
true.
warranty does not cover accidental loss
No.
or theft.
I love those like videos you see. Well, I
Yeah.
don't love them. They're like
Yeah.
a horrible experience. But
Yeah.
like the ones where they like drop it off the side of the boat and there's just someone like dives
Dive
straight into the
in.
water, like no
Jump
thoughts,
so
just,
quickly.
like, the ring's there
Oh,
and they're in the water
goodness.
like a second later.
Oh my goodness. Okay. But love that story.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending it in. All right. Next one. So I had a sense it was going to happen as we had an appointment at Cullen Jewelry to see what type of rings I liked. I'm pretty hard to surprise, so I thought I would be able to pick up on how he would pop the question. My amazing partner managed to surprise me in so many ways. He sent a cute invitation in the mail that he personally made on Canva, inviting me to an evening with him. That's creative. I like that.
Yeah.
Date only, no information. He surprised me with a beautiful night at Stamford Plaza Hotel, a lovely dinner at Blackbird, and then got to top it all off with a surprise gondola. Ooh, those boats you see in Venice on the Brisbane River. Oh, cute.
That's so cool.
How fun. He then pulled out a letter from inside his suit jacket and wrote out a beautiful love letter, ending it by popping the question and pulling out the iris ring. Oh, love that for you.
Yeah.
That's a cute design, little petal details.
Yes.
It was an immediate yes, and our wedding is booked for October this year. It was the most romantic night and full of surprises. That's very sweet. I
That
like
is
that.
so sweet.
Lots of thought and creativity gone into that. I love it.
I'm trying to like look up what these places are.
Yeah, literally. I didn't know that was a thing
Blackbird.
in Brisbane.
What's it called? Dinner at Blackbird.
Blackbird and the Stamford Plaza Hotel.
Oh, it looks like a rooftop.
Oh, cute.
Or
And
maybe not.
Yeah, the little gondola on the river as well.
I don't know, but it does look very nice.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Nice,
cute.
like, river
It's like
views.
overlooking the river.
The river, yeah.
Very cute.
That's so pretty. Our next story. I'm excited. I like these so much.
I know, this is fun.
Okay. My now husband involved me in picking out my engagement ring, so I knew a proposal was coming. I just didn't know when. It was around Christmas time and we planned on seeing the big tree at City Hall, and we were going to go ice skating and have a cute dinner, a definite proposal type of date. So I took a shower, started putting on my makeup. I wanted to look my best in case I was right, and had half my foundation on and still in my towel. My husband screams from the living room and I go out there with my sopping wet hair and he's down on one knee.
That's so sweet.
He knew I would cry when he proposed and didn't want me to ruin my makeup in public, so he proposed at home while I was getting ready for the date that I thought he was going to propose on.
Love that.
That is so
Big
cute.
green flag.
Yeah. I've seen it actually. Can you imagine if it was this same person? But I saw a TikTok not too long ago of like a very similar situation. Like the girl was getting ready
Yeah.
for like the night out, and then the guy was like down on one knee out
Yeah.
of the bedroom, and he was like, "Oh, like don't forget to wear this tonight." And then she like walked out being like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, will you marry me?"
So sweet. I actually really like that because like I
Yeah.
feel like in that situation where maybe you've shopped for the ring together and so you kind of are expecting it.
Yeah.
If it was you've set up a date where like she was saying that it was a very proposal-ish date. It's like it's kind of it makes it a surprise or unexpected
Yes.
for him to do it then.
Yeah.
Or for whoever's proposing to do it then.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're celebrating with the dinner and
Yeah.
the date night evening rather
Yeah.
than it being later on.
Yeah, because it can still be like such a surprise. Like even
Yeah.
though you maybe feel like it's coming that night.
Yeah.
Like you're not expecting it to happen
No.
in that moment.
Not in the house.
Yeah. Because that's like, I guess that is one big thing about when you go engagement ring shopping with your partner is that
Yeah.
you kind of know that like, you know, a few months from now when they start like asking you to go on like a big fancy date or, you know, planning a holiday or a
Yeah.
day trip
It's
or
coming.
something that like you're going to be thinking that that's coming every
Yeah.
single time, even if it doesn't.
It's not. Alrighty. So this last one is from our Leo, one of our jewelers here at Cullen Jewelry, which you probably have seen him on our Instagram if you
Yes.
follow us over there. Okay, I'm very excited to read this. All right. I proposed to my wife on the Rialto Bridge in Venice. A few months before, I started talking about how marriage wasn't important to me because it was an acquainted institution. Just to throw her off the scent. She took the bait.
That's mean.
That's so Leo coded though. At the time, titanium was becoming popular in the industry and we managed to get our hands on a tube. I crafted 2 bands which took days in preparation for the trip. Oh.
That's so cute.
On our overseas trip, we met some friends in Pompeii and they took the train to Venice. We didn't realise the trip was 8 hours long and arrived in Venice at 1 a.m. to find it empty. Without Google Maps. Of course.
Yeah.
I can't. I was like, that's a bit strange, but of course it was back then, no phones. Without Google Maps, we wandered around empty canals with a paper map looking for our hotel.
That would be just like so stressful.
I know. Literally, like my parents tell me stories of when they travelled when they were in their 20s. And I'm like, how the heck?
Yeah.
Like it was just completely different.
Yeah.
But anyway. The concierge eventually found us and offered tea and biscuits. We were starving from the trip. The next day we went exploring and I was ready for an opportunity to propose. I snuck the titanium band into my pocket. I found my moment when we crossed the Rialto Bridge over the Grand Canal. There were many tourists on the bridge, so I found a quiet spot on the opposite side. My wife noticed how sick I looked from nerves. Also, I have met Leo's wife and she's the sweetest soul to ever walk this earth. I dropped down a couple of steps and proposed. I can't remember exactly what happened afterwards.
I'm sure she said yes.
Yes. But we found a phone booth and called our family to announce it.
Oh,
That's so
phone booth.
so
It is
cute.
so cute.
Oh. Interestingly enough, the friends we met in Pompeii eventually travelled to Venice after us and we went to Murano to buy champagne glasses. Murano is the glass.
Oh.
That's in Venice. They make, I don't know, glassware.
Okay.
We went to Murano to buy us champagne glasses as an engagement gift. Oh, that's sweet. They carried those glasses with them throughout their entire trip. We only just unboxed them 20 years later. Leo!
You're not meant to admit that.
What do you mean you only unboxed them?
20 years later. That is so funny.
It's a fine Venetian glass and you're only just unboxing them now.
I wanna get the feel of what their engagement looked like.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, is that okay, yeah.
It's like a big bridge.
A big bridge in Venice. Yeah, that's like the main bridge in Venice.
Yeah, the main bridge in Venice. It has
Yep.
like lots of arches along. Very romantic.
Very cute.
Looking. Yeah. That's so pretty.
Very nice. All right, now one last story to finish us off. I thought I'd tell a story. I'm not engaged, but I helped my friend get engaged last year when we did a Euro trip and we just happened to be there at the same time. But they had gotten a ring through us at Cullen Jewelry and he was really nervous that she was going to see the ring or the ring box through customs, like if it was going to come up somewhere. Obviously, they do the X-ray, so he was really nervous about that.
Can
so I
you
was
imagine
like,
she's like
yeah.
standing there at the airport and she's like,
so
what's that suspicious box?
So I had brought a few other rings with me on my trip to take photos. So I was already carrying a couple. So I just said to him, I was like, oh, I'll just bring it with me. So I was carrying this ring around for like 3 weeks until we actually met up with them in Positano. And yeah, eventually like we had to like coordinate the actual like transaction of me getting it to him because like it's not a big town. So managing to get him by himself was a bit of a tricky.
Well, that's the thing also, because like normally I'm assuming if you see him, you're seeing her as well. So
like,
it's like
kind of a package deal when you're traveling as couples on a holiday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had to like coordinate that. And then, yeah, we eventually sorted it all out. And I think where we were staying, I was with my partner at the time. And all the others were staying at a different hotel. So they kind of all like randomly started coming up with excuses to like get out of there because I think he proposed on the balcony looking over the water.
So we've got another question here. Our question is, are you pressing the ring structure into the stone? So yes, I am. So at the top where the setting is, we're hammering that, we're trying to fold that metal over. See if I can show you. We're going to fold the metal over that way onto the diamond, so that's what will create, that's what creates that bezeled edge. And there is just a nice amount of that lips over. So that's what I'm using. This tool is like it's a hammer that like moves very quickly, and we're hammering along the edge, and the metal moves up over the diamond. That's what stops everything from coming out and moving. So because it's so big, it is taking a little bit longer because we need to just make sure that enough metal gets over, and we don't want to leave it too thin either.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Which was really, it was really stunning. But yeah, they were coming up with all sorts of excuses because I think there was like 4 couples with them that were like, they were just like trying to come up with random like excuses to leave. And I think she was getting a bit annoyed because she's like, why are we staying indoors? Everyone else is doing cute things tonight. And yeah, eventually they, he proposed, and he had also booked, there was a Michelin star restaurant there.
Wow.
So he booked that. They had dinner together, really nice dinner, and then there's a little cave club, a club in a cave there. So we celebrated afterwards with them in this cave club. So
that is so cool.
Yeah. But the travelling ring came everywhere.
The case of the travelling ring.
The amount of anxiety as well I had.
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
like literally every like 10 minutes I was like checking to make sure.
Yeah,
I was like,
I would be so stressed because I feel like it would be stressful enough if you're the one proposing and you're like carrying the ring with you traveling, but like being separated from the whole like thing.
Yeah.
And you're just the carrier of the ring to get it there is like.
Yes, I was definitely keeping it on me at all times.
Yeah, literally. I reckon I would have done the same. It would never have left my sight.
It was, but it turned out great.
Yes. I would love to share, because you made a video, right?
Yes. Yeah, there are a couple videos if you scroll back to July, August last year.
A year ago.
Yeah, basically a year ago.
If I can try and scroll back and find it.
Yeah.
No promises.
Link it somewhere.
I'll link it. But
what's your engagement story or proposal story?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. So I had no idea that like Harrison was going to propose.
Yeah.
But
because had you tried on your ring or just sent him? Okay.
So I had not tried on any rings. It was kind of like I had said to him, let's go try on rings. And he was like, no, because then you know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, he was also like, I am not going to pick your engagement ring. You have to tell me what you want.
What you like, yeah.
So I was like, well, that's like really hard. So I was literally just sending him like every time I saw like a nice ring because I wanted a Cullen ring.
Yeah.
I just like sent him the Instagram post. And then one day I just like saw like the Alice ring and I was like, oh, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So I like fully sent him a screenshot of like what ring, what size stone, what size like roughly I thought that I would be, and like just sent him a screenshot of like with every single detail, like yellow gold, literally everything. So like there was no guesswork for him.
Yeah.
But I kind of just sent it to him as a joke because I'd been sending him rings for ages. But we had obviously like spoken about getting married and we'd moved into our house that year. And I was like so like I was convinced that he was going to propose to me when we first moved into the house.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then I was like, okay, on our anniversary. And then that came in.
It just didn't happen.
So then I was like, okay, well now I have no idea. But he ended up proposing to me on my birthday. So it was my 25th birthday.
Oh, cute.
And originally we had actually planned to go and stay with my mum and dad at my auntie's place in Phillip Island for the weekend like of my birthday. But my dog ended up going on heat. So we couldn't we just couldn't give her to anyone to look after her. We were like, we just need to stay with her, you know.
Yeah.
And my parents, the only option really was for my parents to look after her
Yeah.
at their house.
Yeah.
But they had just moved into a new rental and they were like, we're not getting
we can't. Yeah.
anything in the new rental. So
Yeah.
that got cancelled. And when like that got cancelled, I was like, because I'd kind of thought Phillip Island would be a good place for him to propose because we'd been there lots like throughout our relationship. So when that got cancelled, I was like, okay, well, it's not happening this weekend.
Damn it.
But because it was my birthday, we still wanted to do something nice. So we ended up going down to Oliver's Hill, down the peninsula. And I just like was none the wiser because doing that kind of thing and like going for a like nature walk kind of thing is very
spontaneous as well.
Well, it was like spontaneous, but it's also very normal in our relationship. Like, especially when the weather's nice, like we would always go down the peninsula and like go for a nice walk.
Yeah.
So I thought absolutely nothing of it.
Yeah.
And I like didn't suspect anything throughout the whole day, but now looking back, like he was just like not himself.
Yeah.
And like I was just like taking my time on this walk, like taking photos of like random, you know, like plants that I saw that were, you know, just having the time of my life. And Harrison's like, oh, come on. And I'm like, it's my birthday. Like, let me enjoy my walk. And then we got lunch at like the restaurant kind of place that's up there. And again, he would like ate his food so quickly and then was just like
just jittery.
Sitting there like waiting for me to finish mine. And I think that he ended up like eating half of mine because I was full and he's like shoving it down. And then he went to the bathroom before we left, which like was, you know, pretty normal.
Yeah.
But that was because he needed to move the ring from the bag that he had into like his pocket so that it was more accessible. And then as we were going back down, they have like a, I think they call it a gondola, you know, like the...
Oh, like the lift things.
Like a lift kind of, and you like sit in like a little pod and see the views and everything. And then, when we were on our way back down.
He did it in the pod.
He did it in the pod, yeah.
That's so cute.
And because again, like I was just not expecting it at all.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, because I'd also ruined my birthday presents that year as well because I told him like what I wanted.
Yeah.
Again, like we don't really do surprises. We're just like, tell me what you want and I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, and what I told him I wanted ended up showing up at the house when I was there. And it was very obvious that it was what I wanted. And then he also bought me flowers and put them into like our main spare bathroom. And I just walked in there. He was like, what are you doing? He's like, don't go in there. And I was like, why? Oh, sorry.
Whoops.
Sorry, didn't realize. But yeah, he was like, oh, I actually have like one more present for you.
Aww.
And then like pulled out the ring and I was just like fully in shock.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like, I was like, are you joking?
That's so
I think
cute.
literally like my hands went to like, the walls. I was like,
things start shaking.
I was like, are you joking?
Oh, that's so cute.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Like good that he was able to like keep it a secret and like have it in his bag and just carry it around.
Yeah, because like even thinking back now, the fact that he had like a bag was also weird.
Yeah. He doesn't normally carry one.
Like, never carries a bag. And it wasn't like we knew we were going to be on like a long hike or anything that we would like need something.
A chill hike.
It was just like a 45-ish minute wander.
Yeah. That's so
through
cute.
the park. But yes, I also wanted to talk about this because I was just like looking stuff up in terms of like funny proposal things. And this is from 2012, so it's a long, long, long time ago. But Pizza Hut did a $10,000 engagement party package.
Oh.
And I'm assuming it's in the US, but it included a ring, fireworks, and of course pizza. So
wait, so where was the ring coming? Did they like just collaborate?
I guess they collaborated with
someone.
So
random.
for $10,010, you got a limo service, a ruby engagement ring,
Oh,
a bouquet of flowers, a personal fireworks display, a professional photographer, a professional videographer, and last but not least, a Pizza Hut $10 dinner box.
slay. I mean, that's honestly a pretty good
It's a pretty good deal.
package, to be honest.
Like it's I mean,
I love
actually,
this,
then
just
again,
like you doing all this elaborate stuff and then it's a $10 pizza pack.
$10 pizza box.
Fair enough.
It contains a medium, 1 topping regular pan pizza, 5 breadsticks with marinara sauce, and 10 cinnamon sticks with a sweet icing cup.
Cute. Can't argue with that.
I just thought it was
So
fun,
random.
like so funny and random. Like,
Yeah, why would
what
they
do
do
you
that?
mean? Pizza, like I think they did it for Valentine's Day
Yeah.
as like a Valentine's Day thing. But
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone actually did it.
Maybe we should do that. Should we offer that? A personal fireworks display? And a pizza.
But yes,
That's
I
so
thought that was
funny.
really funny, and I just needed everyone else to know about
To hear
that.
Just wanted to share that.
I nearly told you when I first saw it, and then I was like, no, wait for the
this is-
podcast.
Oh gosh. Who thinks of that?
All right, so at this point, now that we've got stone in and we're happy with it, what we're going to do is I'm just using this nice sharp little tool here, and what we're doing is just cutting some really nice straight lines on the sides. So these sides, so they can run parallel with the edges of the stone, and that'll give us a nice bright finish. Once we've polished it as well, it's going to look really nice and reflect back at us. So what I will do is I'll finish most of this off. We'll get this pretty much finished, and then I will have to polish it on our polishing machine, so you won't get to see that now, but stay tuned for a video that will go up on our, I think it'll end up on our stories, and it'll end up on our feed of this whole process, and it'll be a nice shortened version. You'll see it getting polished, and then you'll see the end result. So stay tuned, we're just about at the end.
Yeah.
I just want to know, in the Pizza Hut HQ, when someone suggested this,
Yeah.
they said yes.
I know,
That's a
right?
great idea.
It just like, it really sounds like one of those things that like the intern says and
Yeah.
everyone's like, no.
No,
But this time they went, whoa,
that's a great idea.
you picked a winner. So just quickly, thank you so much to everyone who has shared your proposal stories with us. Like we said at the start, we love hearing more about you guys and learning more about you. Again, I'll have that link in the show notes. So if you listen to this and you thought, wow, I want my story to go on there, my story's way better than theirs,
Yep.
then make sure you head to there and pop in your story, and we will keep an eye on them as they come in. But thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Save the Date podcast. We hope you learned something new, and if you're currently planning your wedding, congratulations, good luck, and have fun.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you follow or subscribe and leave us a review wherever it is that you're listening.
Make sure to come and connect with us on our socials at the Save the Date podcast and join our Facebook group, the Save the Date community. We hope you have a wonderful day or night, and we'll be back with another episode next week. Bye.
Bye. You're listening to the Save the Date podcast, where we talk all things weddings, jewellery and romance. With love from Cullen Jewellery.
Hello, and welcome back to the Save the Date podcast. I'm Sheridan.
And I'm Juliet, and we are so happy you're here.
You might have noticed that, well, if you watch the podcast, which if you're not watching the podcast yet and you're currently listening to this, go over to YouTube and watch it, because Juliet and I are in wedding dresses, because today we are joined by Anna from Anna Campbell Bridal. So welcome, Anna, to the podcast. We are so happy to have you, and obviously we got to wear dresses. So
Yes, we're extremely excited today.
we're having the best time.
Thank you for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure. We've literally been filming TikToks for like the last 40 minutes, just showing off the
Enjoying
dresses.
every minute of wearing these dresses.
So Anna, why don't you start us off by just telling us a bit about yourself and what you do?
So I am the creative director and founder at Anna Campbell Bridal. I started it when I was 19.
Wow.
So almost 2 decades ago now. So I've done it for a really, really long time. Outside of my job, I'm a mum of 3 boys.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, they're terrors. I live in the Yarra Valley with my horses.
Oh, wow.
I'm very non-glam, very much so. I've got 3 boys and a lot of mud. And during the week, I am a designer. I'm a creative director. So I work on the designs. I help with the marketing and the sales, but I have a team that do exceptionally well in that area, and a production team that I work closely with, designing and developing and steering the creative, ship.
Absolutely amazing. So before we get too far into anything else, why don't you tell our listeners what we are wearing today?
Okay, so first we have the Billy.
Yeah.
It is the most beautiful baby kind of soft pink fluffy organza. It's an incredible textured fabric. It's called Billy after the Billy button, the flower.
Yeah.
It's actually separate, so you would take the top and wear it separately, or you can wear it with a little bit of midriff showing, and so it's like in that it's quite fun to style. It's the color and the texture is probably the most incredible thing about it. It is so unique. It has the most gorgeous flowing skirt with a split, and then that's kind of contrasted with a beautiful fitted boned bodice.
Yep. I'm obsessed with
Really, really
this.
pretty.
The blush pink color is divine.
The texture.
The
I
texture.
love the texture.
Yeah. When I first felt it, I was shocked at how just like soft and fluffy it is.
Yeah, you just want to run your hands in it. Yeah.
Petting Sheridan.
Okay. Now, what about Juliet?
Juliet is also wearing separates. We have the Fleur Topper, which is a Georgette-lined little cap-sleeved open back topper. It features hand-embellished floral lace, which is the most amazing. Again, both of you have chosen texture. It's really, really 3D and fun and sparkling. And then we've paired it with a Daphne skirt, which is also part of our new collection. It's really full and flowing. It's got multiple layers of organza and tulle, and it just feels really kind of modern fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's like literally stunning. I'm so obsessed with it.
The
Like,
funny
the
thing
top.
is,
Yeah.
as well, Anna brought like a whole bunch of dresses.
Yeah.
And as we're looking, I saw this one and went, and Juliet went, "That's your dress." And then Anna pulls out the next one and I was like, "That's your dress."
Like, yes.
I know, I feel like we could have played all. I think we're going to have to set up like a date in our Hawthorne store to come and
Oh, yeah.
play with all the
Fully.
dresses.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
please set it up. I love that.
Yes.
Okay. So now that we know what we're wearing, Anna, why don't you tell us how you got into this industry to begin with?
Oh, I never intended to be in bridal ever. And when I started, I don't think I'd even been to a wedding, honestly.
Wow.
So I was really artistic. I wanted to study fashion, and I worked very hard to get into fashion at RMIT. I moved from country like Central Victoria down to Melbourne to study. It was a schmozzle. I was a massive failure. I couldn't do it. It was terrible. And so I quit. I don't think I even made quite the end of the first semester,
Wow.
honestly. And then I started making headpieces for a little store in North Melbourne that believed me when I said I was a milliner, and I was not. I was just a uni dropout working at Boost Juice, honestly. So I made some headpieces, and amazingly, they sold for the Melbourne Cup.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then from there, I started creating a few dresses here and there that they sold. And then I was waitressing also at the time, and a couple of clients who were regulars at the cafe offered for me to do like some headpieces for a couple of fashion shows they had.
Oh, wow.
So I did that, and then I met some of their buyers.
All right, everybody, there we have it. This is our lovely, almost 5 carat radium it's in. Now, I've done a bit of preliminary polishing now, but the rest of the cleanup is going to happen on, I'll have to do it off the live just so that I do it out of this clamp that we've got here that I've got the ring in. I find it a little bit easier to clean up that way. But just to give you an idea, this is what it's going to look like. And like I said, stay tuned. It will end up on the feed and on the stories. So keep an eye out for that one. Thank you very much for your tuning in today. Hope you all enjoy your Thursday and have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.